I've like told a girl, I was like, hey, you know, I'm not really into this. I don't feel like this is the right thing. I'm really sorry.
Like, as soon as he shows up on the deck, the massive fighting stops. Everybody, like, backs down.
Hey, what is going on, everybody? My name is Brandon. Welcome back to Real Sensitive Guy Hours, episode 11. A couple of housewarming things before we get started. As always, if you want to be a part of the show, if you have any questions for us, or if you have any topic submissions, you can always hit us up at drspinshootimpress at gmail.com, or it's on the top of the screen if you're watching this on YouTube, and it's in the description if you're watching it on Spotify. But yeah, what's going on, guys?
Episode 11.
Not much.
Episode 11.
We're all under quarantine right now. It's fucking depressing.
House arrest, baby.
What have you guys been up to? How are you passing the time?
Oh, that was actually gonna be my question. Is
okay, good starter.
Good
I like
starter
it.
is we're all in fucking quarantine, and there it has its ups, it has its downs, but one of the big things is well, of course, like everybody knows, we all play games, so all that, but big thing is TV shows and stuff like that, or Netflix or Hulu. Like, what is your guys'
yeah.
like quarantine shows that you're binging?
Definitely
bat.
getting through a lot of shows right now. Rewatching Ozark, like I mentioned earlier.
Hey,
Season 3 is about to start. You have to.
It's nice. It's nice.
exactly.
I watched the whole season of season 4 Better Call Saul and some of season 5 when I went to my parents' house because they have on demand. So I watched a little bit of season 5.
I actually got
Damn.
inspiration
Hey.
from you guys, and I'm in like season 6 now of Letterkenny.
Oh, yeah.
That's a
How
good
many
fucking
seasons?
show, dude.
How many seasons are there?
Fucking
It's
A.
such
So
a
fucking
good
funny.
show.
How many seasons are there?
7.
So I'm almost done. Damn, that's gonna be sad when I get to the end. It's always so sad when you get to the end of a show, like
New season
Yeah.
comes
especially
out
when it's
soon.
like such a good show. You're like,
New
I
season
feel.
comes out in, I believe it's in the summer. I think it's around April-ish. Maybe
dead
like
ass. So next
I
month.
feel like that
Probably.
last season of Letterkenny was so short.
it was.
That show's so good.
I've never watched.
If you've never seen
Oh.
Letterkenny, go on Hulu right now. You're gonna laugh your fucking ass off.
Why are
Funniest
Canadian
thing.
shows always the best?
It's
Canadian shows are so great.
it's a
Canadian
little
TV shows are
different
so
humor
fucking
at
good.
first.
It's very quick-witted humor, and that's something that I really fuck with.
There's a lot of chirping, as in the if people who don't play certain
Resident Canadian
sports,
here.
Hockey,
Yeah.
stuff like that. There's a lot of chirping, which is quick-witted, fast response times,
Banter.
just not
Smack.
arguments, but just talking smack, chirping, talking like that.
Yeah, it's like the looking
There's a
ass
lo-
thing.
There,
Look at
literally,
that.
it is. It's the Canadian version of looking ass thing, and I think it's funny because didn't I introduce Letterkenny to you, Brandon?
I think it was for one of the podcasts I was listening to, but I think you were the one that was like the nail in the hammer. You're like, watch this shit, and I was like,
Hey.
yeah, let's
And
go.
then Brandon
Nail
got
in the
Travis to get it.
He's nailing
Hey.
the coffin.
say?
Yeah, we're nailing
Yeah,
in hammers
Or
now.
hit the nail in the head.
Honestly, though, most of my quarantine time, 2 words, man. Animal Crossing. All right.
Hey, I know in my quarantine, I've been catching back up on Criminal Minds. I love
Not a big fan.
like the psychology, and I like reading about that kind of
Not a
shit.
big fan.
Like, it's a I would say it's a hobby of mine. I love reading about like murder mysteries and all that stuff. And I used to always watch
Practicing
like,
for
the
something.
Criminal Minds episode when they would come on TV, but like bits and patterns. So I started rewatching it on Netflix from season 1, episode 1. Gotta say, I love Spencer Reed, Dr. Reed, the real intellect guy with a photographic memory and knows anything all the way back to like 1600 England.
Is he the same guy that's on iCarly?
No, it's somebody else.
Isn't there an incel episode of Criminal Minds?
There is. There is. I
shit.
love Garcia, the tech whiz. She kind of reminds me a little bit of like a combination of Brandon and Travis a little bit with her nerd talk. It's hilarious.
Speaking of
I love
video
when you can-
games,
I love
go
when
ahead.
you can watch a TV show and like put your friends in there, like their personalities.
Makes
Dog,
it
we
more
did
real.
that shit with Total Drama Island, man.
Oh my
was
god.
All
so-
of our
it was, like,
friends, we
so
labeled them
accurate.
on.
Dude, like,
Yeah.
who are the twins?
We can't say their names out loud, but it starts with a K and a
BK?
D.
I was thinking BK.
K and a D.
Hey,
Oh,
Oh no, K and
K-
an M. K and an M.
There you go.
Speaking
Who
of
would
video
I be
games,
for
man.
drama?
Lots of
who
games
you would
getting
be?
done in the quarantine,
Who
dude.
you-
Lots of gaming getting done.
Who would you be?
In
Who
what?
would I be on Total Drama Island? Who
I
would
don't
I be?
remember it that well. I don't remember who the main characters are. I know Owen's the big dude. That's all I really
Yes.
remember. Yeah.
I feel like I said I was Trent or something.
I was that skinny fuck who tried to impress everybody.
I
I
don't
don't
remember
Who
that
are you
well.
talking about?
I don't remember. I don't remember the show,
I
man.
remember him, but like, damn, I don't remember his name.
But yeah, video games. A lot of video games been playing. I got my hands on
haven't too, yeah.
Half-Life Alex, bro.
No
And that
way.
shit-
How's that? How's that?
So Half-Life Alex is a very cinematic and very beautiful game. In the opening sequence, so if anybody doesn't know about Half-Life, I'm gonna nerd out here for a second. Essentially,
we all will.
your Earth is taken over in the 1950s by this interdimensional race called the Combine. And long story short, they take over Earth within 7 hours. It was not even a fight. They're just that fucking powerful. So now you have to live under your
Earth
Combine
go hard?
overlords. Earth does not go hard in this. So you're
They were
Alex.
not like- damn,
Or
Earth
do they
go
be like,
hard.
damn, Earth go hard? They were harder than.
Simeon.
Spawn more overlords.
So you're essentially the child of this really big resistance guy. I don't remember his name. It's like Eli Vance, and you
Eli.
are Alex, and so you play a girl in the game. So you're trying to fight back against your Combine overlords. And the way that they set the scene in VR was insane. As soon as you get into this game, you are on a balcony and you just see this long. It's a European cityscape, and there's life in the street, and there's like Combine ships flying over you with birds and shit, and the physics in the game make it awesome too. You walk over to this glass area, and I'm sure everybody's seen the clips on Reddit, but you can take a marker and start drawing on it, and it's all seamless. It feels so lifelike as well.
Wow.
The game is phenomenal, very creepy at times, and it's at one point there's these head crab zombies. They're very iconic within gaming, but if you're not familiar, it's this race that came from a different planet, and essentially this like couple of aliens infect anywhere that they go. And think of it kind of like moss, essentially. You know how that shit spreads? It's like that, but like fleshy grossness.
Ew.
So very, very creepy. So if I had to give any complaints about it though, I played a game called Boneworks where they pretty much pushed VR physics to the max, and that set a very high expectation for Half-Life Alyx for me. And to be honest, if I had to compare the physics between Half-Life and Boneworks did it better. But the storytelling and the visuals, Valve, you can't be fucking competed with. It's
Yeah.
insane.
They'll always deliver.
So Half-Life Alyx is
think
beautiful if you have a VR.
I think the
Yeah,
games that
how
I've
much
been
money, bro?
playing. I think the games I've been playing. I've focused. Surprisingly, it's always focused around like dystopian shit because of the coronavirus that's going around. So I've always been playing like I played Last of Us. Great fucking game.
Yes.
Also, I'm just hype as shit for Last of Us 2, where you get to play as Ellie. Oh,
That'd be
I'm
pretty
so
nice.
hyped for that.
Dude, I
Um,
watching that game on YouTube. I think I watched the Rad Brad play that shit.
Yeah.
I've never cried watching a walkthrough, but the beginning part of that game made me sob.
Don't. We're not.
Dude, the
we're not
beginning
talking
part
about
of
that.
The Last of Us, the beginning of it is scary as fuck, bro. Like when you're like in the house, like searching around, like everything's so eerie.
I haven't
yeah.
even
And
played
then-
the first one.
I haven't played all the way
What?
through, but I haven't played all the
What?
way through.
Not at
Travis,
all.
we need to break quarantine. You need to get your ass over here, and we're gonna play.
It's free. For
I have it.
it's
I got it
free
when it
for
was like free
PS4.
on PS Plus. Yeah.
It's free.
But
yeah.
I have it right
I've been
now.
playing that game. I've been playing. I played the first BioShock, where you're in the
Ooh.
dystopia underwater. That
Interesting.
one's always fun. And then what was the other one? Jack 3, where you're in like the
Yes, let's fucking
Yes.
go.
Jack 3. That was
Nice.
I'm playing dystopian games for some reason. Like that's all I've been playing. It's
I
crazy.
feel you, man. I started Watch Dogs too.
Hey.
So, like Big Brother is watching, smart city with all the cameras everywhere. Scary shit.
Yo, since we're on the topic of video games, did you guys see that they're remaking Modern Warfare 2?
Yeah, I heard.
Really?
That's like
Are you
a
serious?
really not a confirmed, but it's
It's not
a
confirmed,
it's
but they say it's probably not going to
solid
happen
rumor.
until 2021.
so
I don't care
apparently
how long I have to wait. I need that. I need that in my life.
Is that better than
God,
Modern Warfare
yes.
though?
yes, 100%. Are you
100%.
fucking
Isn't Modern
Not even
Warfare
close.
Modern Warfare 2 the one with Rust and all that?
Yeah.
Rust?
Yeah, that's
High
terminal
rise.
scrapyard.
They said as early as 2021.
High rise.
That's
High
where
ri-
Dr.
high rise, what am I
SpinShootImpress
saying?
got his shit
High
done.
rise, bro. That's all you have to say.
Yeah, that's where I got my start. That was my first big Call of Duty.
I don't
really
even know
started
what they're
taking
doing for the
seriously.
next one.
All
So
that rumors
apparently
you
they're
hear about
supposed
Modern Warfare
to
2, They already hit the what'd you say, Brandon?
nail
They
on the
already hit the nail
hammer.
on the hammer.
Apparently they're going to be doing Black Ops 1
Remake?
remake.
Ooh, that was my
Oh,
favorite.
that's a
That's
good
my
one
favorite
too.
one.
That's what I
Ooh.
would
That's my
want
favorite
second
one.
most.
Was that the one with the really good campaign, or was that Black Ops 2?
Black Ops 1 had an awesome
It
campaign
was
in
pretty
my
good.
opinion.
The maps
Yeah,
were pretty
Black
good
Ops
too.
1.
Like WMD was good. Summit was
Women
good.
on my dick.
Radiation was good.
Nuketown,
Radiation.
obviously, that was the birth
Oh,
of Nuketown.
yeah.
Array
Was
was
Black Ops 1,
good.
like birth of probably the most iconic Call of Duty map ever. They've remade it 80 times.
They make it. They
That was
remake
the
it in
first
other
game to have the
games,
OG Nuketown.
That game has some really good guns too.
Firing
like the FAMAS,
range.
The AUG,
Oh,
firing
dude, the
range.
AUG as an assault rifle is so much better than the AUG as an LMG. That's one thing I'll say that I don't like about Modern Warfare 2. I still use it, but I like it so much better as the high fire rate assault rifle.
Oh yeah, dude. Honestly, the AUG with just the red dot sight and no camo on it whatsoever was my shit. Like I would pretend I was sea nanners trying to
Oh,
fucking
dude,
slay
I had
out.
like I had the red tiger camo and the heart red dot sight. Like the dot was a heart.
Ooh, so
wow.
cute. So cute.
Them you can buy as you kill them.
So who's your guys' if we're still on the topic of video games, and if you guys don't mind, who's your favorite character from a game? Out of all games that you've played, who's your favorite character that you've like? It could be a character that you played as, like if it's say like you're in Jack and Daxter, your favorite character is Jack, a character you play as, or it could be like a companion character like Daxter on that,
Companion
or
cube.
if it's just a AI that's in the game. Like who's your favorite character that you've had in a game?
Easiest answer in my life, bro. John Marston.
You fucking dickhead. You make me so mad with that. That was actually so easy for you. I can't think of it. Like
What game is it from?
so I really was like a huge fan of Kingdom Hearts. So I want to say like Sora.
Ooh.
But there's so many good characters that like I've fallen in love with over the time of me playing video games.
True. I mean, if you're accounting for like every single fucking video game character ever, then I have to include like Chikorita.
Spyro.
See, the thing, Spyro's good. That's a classic. That's a good. I would say I don't usually play games that have story modes. I usually just play sports games, and if I play Call of Duty, I don't usually play the campaign.
Oliver's favorite character is my created character on FIFA 19.
No, I don't actually have a created one. I would say it's probably between Crash Bandicoot or the character that's the story lead for Devil May Cry.
Ooh, Dante.
Yeah.
Featuring Dante from the Devil May Cry series.
Yeah, I really got into that game on PS1.
I always liked Sly Cooper. I always
Ooh, that's a
liked
good
that.
one.
I always
like
liked his
Ratchet
quick
Clank, too.
wittiness. I always liked his quick wittiness, Sly Cooper, and
Yeah.
like the sarcastic comments that he always made during like the games.
Yeah, no, for sure. It was so good.
I remember when I played Jack and Daxter the first game for the first time, and like you felt like such a badass, and Daxter was always funny and quick witted, but the second game made me fall in love with Jack, who was a mute in the first game, but he's cussing in the first game, in the second games. He like goes badass mode in it. Oh, so
Damn.
fucking great.
Like
It
in
was
Shadow the
great.
Hedgehog?
Literally, he got consumed by Dark Eco, and so he went like full Shadow the Hedgehog mode, and it
That's
was
more like
fucking great.
that's more like Sonic Unleashed, where he turned into that beast form.
Right.
That
He went
game
beast mode.
was so
So-
fucking bad.
It was
Holy
horrible.
shit.
Oh my god, controlling him in beast form, like
Did
I would
you
never
did
wanna
you get
fuck
that
him
game
with
on the
that
Wii? Because that's what I got.
yeah,
it on.
yeah.
It's so
If
bad.
If it's any problem to do with controls, it was on the Wii. By
Yes.
the way,
Yes.
did you ever play Spider-Man 3 on the Wii?
No.
What the
No.
hell were they thinking with those
Wait,
controls, man?
what? They made a Spider-Man game
Going
on
like this with the Wii remote was like doing combos and like punching.
So
How
And
did
you
you
have to
shoot
hold
your
it
web?
sideways and do it, or like upwards and do it to do different things.
what
It
the
was,
fuck? Mhm.
my fucking arm would cramp up in like 10 minutes of playing. It's ridiculous. It's to punch. You got to do that to punch, so you were constantly doing it. You know how many
Oh
times you
my
punch
gosh.
people as Spider-Man? You don't realize until you're fucking waving a Wii remote.
I would say also I played Ratchet and Clank a lot too. I played the first original 4 all the way through.
Ooh.
Ratchet, actually, if I had to add
Yeah,
on
dude.
to my
Ratchet and
characters,
Clank Deadlocked.
That was good. Yeah, that was so good.
the
Fire.
fucking announcers from Deadlocked are probably like top 5.
Oh my
Dude, the
God.
announcers in the arena are so yeah, they're lit.
One of the best PS2 games of all time. What was it? So did we all have a PS2 back in the day?
Oh man, best PS2
of
games.
course.
That's Battlefront 2 is there.
Battlefront 2 is
Battlefront.
good.
Battlefront 2 takes the top
That's
spot.
that's number 1. You can't beat that. Sorry. Wrestling games, old classic wrestling games, dude.
Ooh, the old WWE games.
Yes, sir.
2006, 2009 was the pinnacle, I'd say.
I
Those
would
were all the best games right there.
I would say
2006, 2007, 2008, 2009. Boom.
I would say the Star Wars game for PS2.
Which one?
Battlefront.
The
What,
one that
like
you
Force
can
Unleashed?
sniper and stuff. Yeah, like you can actually pick characters and snipe.
Oh, that's Battlefront 2.
Yeah, Battlefront 2.
Oh, I thought you said Battlefield. My bad. I didn't play any of those.
Bully.
Force Unleashed was really good too on PlayStation 2. I feel like underrated game, honestly.
Of course, Grand Theft Auto. Like,
I never
Yeah.
played.
What was GTA 4 on PS2, right?
no, that was on
Yeah,
Or
Xbox.
was it 3?
That was
Uh,
on 3 and Xbox.
3, Vice City, and then San Andreas. So good. So fucking good.
You guys play Assassin's Creed?
PS2 honestly
Oh,
wins best library. Of
I
any
forgot.
console.
That was one of my
It
favorite
is.
characters. Assassin's Creed Brotherhood 2.
Ezio
Brotherhood and
Auditore.
Ezio Auditore de Firenze. Oh,
Yeah, I
Different.
do like him.
God.
I do like him.
He was a
All the
fucking
Assassin's
womanizer,
Creed
dude.
characters. Dude, that man was a. Oh.
It's like
Travis,
the
I already
Assassin's
know.
Creed
I already know
song.
the answer to this, but which is your favorite Assassin's Creed, Trev?
Black Flag.
Black Flag.
Yeah,
Whoa,
Black
Black Flag's all of your favorites?
Yeah,
No
I didn't really play. I didn't really
way.
play a lot of them that much, but it's
And-
good.
Okay.
I feel like
I'll let
I
you
feel like if I
guys-
played Odyssey, it might be my favorite though, but I haven't played it yet.
All right, I've played every single Assassin's Creed, and all of the guys in this chat know I am a history nerd. And Assassin's Creed deals heavily with historic aspects and stuff like that. So I'm
Heavily
gonna
with
let
heavily
you.
modified history.
Actually, the settings and the characters in the game are historically accurate. It's just
Keep
some
looking
of
it
the.
The amount of
So-
attention they pay to detail of these historic locations is insane.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's beautiful. So I'm gonna let you guys try to take a guess from how well you know me, what my favorite Assassin's Creed game was.
I don't even know them all. I haven't played them all.
Brotherhood.
Okay,
I'm
Brandon.
gonna say my favorite, Assassin's Creed 3.
Ooh,
I don't know
I'm
them
gonna
all,
give-
so I have no idea.
It's okay. Number 1 is number 3, the American colonization. Number 2 is number 2, Brotherhood and Ascension, where you play Ezio because it's.
Are they all tied for second place?
Yes, because they're all with the same character and they're all placed in the same setting.
True. True.
Renaissance Italy. Number 3 is Origins because it's ancient Egypt. I love that. And number 4 is what was it? Odyssey because it's Roman and Greek.
Where's Black Flag, bro?
And number 5 is Black Flag.
Damn.
The only thing that Black Flag had for it that was good was
It's everything.
everything was good about Black
Being a
Flag.
pirate.
Right.
I knew you were gonna
But
say
the
that.
big thing that got me was the downloadable content, where you got to play as a Haitian slave who becomes an assassin during the Haitian uprisings that took place in the Bermudas.
That's
I
pretty
liked
sick.
that.
That's
I
pretty
liked
sick.
It was fucking badass. Oh,
Trav.
Yo.
Yeah. So like you were saying about PS2, PS2 has the most games ever made.
Does it really?
Yep, most games ever made.
Well, then I guess that only leads to it having the best game library of any console.
ATV
Well,
Opera
supposedly-
Fury 2, the
Xbox
Matrix
360
games.
is close.
Supposedly PS5s are going to have backwards capability, so you can play 1, 2, 3, and 4 on it. Supposedly.
Yeah, but
They-
like,
fuck
So-
That should be
yes.
such a priority. I feel like that's not a priority anymore. for
God of
console
War
users.
is
That's
fucking good
true.
too.
Backwards compatibility, it seems like it's taken such a back seat, and that's bullshit in my opinion.
you know what is also taking a back seat? Like cooperative multiplayer.
Yeah, couch co-op. Oh, I
That's
could talk
true.
all night.
Cooperative
about that.
ones, yeah. Cooperative games have not been. They've all been like single player stuff now.
Yeah.
Right.
There are some that come in and they're like the classic couch co-op. Like there have been a couple games in the past few years that are like that.
What has been one like other than Super Mario
I'm
Bros.
like
Wii?
trying to think of them.
What's
Oh,
the?
There's
Nintendo-
one where you
Nintendo
play as
often does
two
it.
brothers that try to escape jail. There's that one. I'm trying to remember what the fuck that game is.
Nintendo, it's
I know what you're
mostly
talking
from
about.
Nintendo. Anything like, Smash, like cooperative online for that.
You know what was a good one? Army of Two.
Army of Two,
Ooh,
yes. That was a classic.
I don't remember that one.
It's
Dude,
literally
it-
like these two guys just go through and fuck shit up, but the game was built around like co-op multiplayer. So like
Yeah,
one
so
guy
you,
could be a
you can
sniper.
high-five each other in the middle of combat and stuff like that. It's so fucking
You could like one guy could be a sniper and take all the heat while they're shooting off, and then the other guy could be sneaking around and doing the objective. Fucking dope ass game.
great.
What's the game where you're cars and you can blow shit up and you have to like face Sweet Tooth and all that? What's that game?
Oh,
called?
dude, Twisted Metal.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Those were solid games too. PS2 had
Those were
Twisted Metal
fucking
Black.
great.
Such a fucking great.
PS2 had so many great fucking games.
Legendary
PS2.
games. I played the shit out of my PS2.
360 was close though. 360 was close. It had a really good library too.
Do you guys have any?
PS2 had God of War.
True.
Anyway, do we want to do this Dr. Spin question?
Yeah, but so you guys
Yeah.
have questions since we're talking about video games? Change the subject a little bit.
Yeah.
So this is from a Dr. SSI that I did forever ago, back when I used to do these things on the weekly. I don't know if I covered it though, so we're just gonna go through it. So the person, the title of this email, Anon, please. So there's this girl in my class. I just hear you fucking vaping, dude. That just made me laugh. I don't know why.
I hear it crackling.
Yeah, same.
So there's this girl in my class that likes
Good
me,
sound.
but I don't like her. Her friends told me that she likes me and asked if I liked her back. I said no and that I like somebody else. So when she heard that I didn't like her, she's still trying to talk to me and quote unquote date me and stuff. Any help on getting her off of me would greatly be appreciated. P.S. Love your videos,
be
man.
yourself.
I'm that guy who always comments and likes your videos.
So are they in 4th, 5th grade?
Just be a
He is an Oilers fan, so probably.
How to get a girl away from you.
Ignore.
Ooh.
I say
No,
keep her.
that's
I
a
say
classic.
like drag her around and frick her friends.
So keep her on a chain, but not too close.
Yeah, exactly.
Fuck
Give
is
her a
that?
little bit of hope every once in a
There was
while
some
to sustain your
slavery
emo.
vibes
Yeah,
over here.
your ego.
No, not
Keep
at
her on
all.
a chain.
All right,
Put her in your backyard.
keep her close, but not that close. Like, yeah, still like talk to her every now and then, but you don't have to like give time to her.
Honestly, I think
Fuck.
everyone in this every one of us would be lying if we said we haven't ghosted someone at least once. I think most
Oh,
people would be
true.
lying if they said they haven't ghosted someone at least once. It's not always the best option. Like if you've been with somebody for like multiple years and you guys break up, don't do it by ghosting them. Like if you want to break up with them,
No.
don't do it by ghosting them at that point.
No.
That's fucked up, man. They deserve like a real explanation.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna lie. I've ghosted like a weak relationship that I thought wasn't like going anywhere. I wouldn't even say it was a relationship. We hadn't even like something that we hadn't even made official at that point.
We haven't even held
whatever.
hands yet.
It's just like it's been such a short amount of time. It's in a moment where I think a lot of people would say that's okay.
I might have
That
ghosted
early
a woman or two.
Yeah.
You have
I've
to.
I
definitely
think most
ghosted
people
somebody.
have ghosted someone. That's exactly what I'm saying.
What are your cats doing over there? Are they frickin'? Is that what's
No,
happening?
I feel like
He's her. He's like her big
like
brother.
I feel like at some point in time
Ew.
you have to ghost depending on the relationship. No one wants to ghost that person because you feel shitty about it, but
But my
No,
advice
but
here is not
sometimes-
ghost them. I was just off on a tangent. My advice is not ghost them in this situation.
You're not sorry.
I think you just have a real conversation. My cats are fighting in the background. I think you just have a real conversation. Like sit her down and be like, look, I don't care if you want to like hang out or whatever as friends, not alone at either of our houses, but I'm not gonna like you like that. I don't. You just have to accept that if you want to be around me, or like just leave me alone. Just be straight up.
So what do you
Fair.
do if she like invites you over to her house and she like feeds you drinks? What do you do about that?
I feel like you don't ever go to her house in that scenario. Like you just don't go there.
All right, I'll let past
I don't
Brandon
think that's
know.
appropriate. I don't think that's appropriate right now, or
some
something.
random situation you just brought up.
That
for
sounds
some
like
reason.
really squarish, but you know.
And we're in a square.
I think I'm with Travis on that one. Just be straight up about it. Don't try to beat around the bush.
Because it
Because
sounds like there's no like bad blood or animosity or anything. There's nothing that you necessarily don't like about her. Like you didn't try to be together and you found out that she like has foot fungus or some shit like that. She just you're just not interested, and that's what you got to tell her.
So I'm going running under the assumption that they're in like high school or middle school at the time of this email. So I'm gonna apply that same logic to my response. So that usually means that you can't really get away from this person because they're in your class and it's like you're in an enclosed space with them for like 90 minutes or so. Yeah, just let her know, dog. You know, if you need to set her aside and be like, hey, I need to talk to you like at lunch or something, be like, hey, you know, I don't want to be disrespectful. I'm not here to hurt your feelings. You and I'm just not into you, and that's okay. There's people
And her
that
being in
you're
your class is
into.
exactly why ghosting isn't an option too.
Yeah, like there are people that are into you, I'm sure, and you're just not into, and that's okay as well. This is one of those situations. I'm sorry, we can still be friends as long as you don't make it weird. I'm totally cool with that if you enjoy my time as much as you do.
Easy.
And that's that. And she's obviously gonna be hurt. Like, you know, there's been times where I've like told a girl, I was like, hey, you know, I'm not really into this. I don't feel like this is the right thing. I'm really sorry. And she was like, you're not sorry. And like sent me a paragraph about why I'm a shitty human being. So like people will be like that.
You gotta
but,
accept that too. You gotta accept that sometimes they're gonna get mad.
yeah.
Well, I'm assuming that all of us have been on the receiving end of that too, where we've liked somebody, but they've had to pull that strategy with us too. Maybe it's not pull us aside, but maybe it's like they sent us a text message or, hey, can I call you about something? And they said like, listen, I get you like me, but I don't like you back in that same way. I'm fine with being friends and I'm okay with that. And then, well, like in high school, you get mad about that because it's like, well, fuck, I got to see this person on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah,
and
anytime.
you're like such a little like emotional wreck with your puberty in high school that you're like,
oh yes,
oh my god, I can't stand to see them every day. I can't bear it. and then like a week later you see someone else in one of your other classes.
That's some real shit though. Like when teenagers are like 16 years old and they're complaining about like them being heartbroken, that's some real shit to them. Like you kind of need to empathize with that a little bit because like they can't help it.
No, they
they don't know any better.
They don't even know what's going on with their own body.
Exactly.
They're in distress.
To them, that's the worst heartbroken they're ever gonna receive in life. They're gonna get brokenhearted. They're gonna find Johnny making out with Cindy underneath the bleachers at a football game, and they're gonna fucking cry themselves to sleep in the fucking bathroom or something.
All right,
Yeah,
Will. That was
I feel like
It was also very oddly specific.
A symptom of that is not being able to like look ahead and see the future.
Well,
Like
at that point,
not being able to look forward and see that like time will heal all wounds. You'll be okay. You'll find someone else you love. Like I don't think they're able to rationalize that out.
well,
So they do really think it's
straight
like the
out
end
of
of the
high
world, biggest heartbreak ever.
Especially straight out of high school. A lot of people get into relationships straight out of high school. I know I've done
classic. And there's also the classic we were together in high school. Do we break up when we graduate, or do we try to do the college thing at potentially different colleges? And that just brings more problems potentially.
The big thing with that is people think it just happens like within high schools. And another thing is you got to realize that these people coming out of high school, that's all that they've dealt with their entire life is that kind of high school dating mentality. You see them every day. You talk to them in an aspect every single day. You spend half of your day with this person in the same location that you are. Whereas like in college or in real life, like outside of high school, in college, yeah, you might go to the same school as them, but you're not in the same location as them for a set amount of hours each day. Yeah, they might go to school, they might go to the same college as you, but they might be in a different building in a different class. You might see them in the lunchroom or in the cafeteria for like maybe an hour or so, or maybe you might see them walking around, but that's completely different from being in the same location as them for 7 or 8 hours of a day.
It also helps that like you're not raging your hormones everywhere.
Exactly. Some people in college still are.
The thing about high school is that like people in high school think like, oh, I have 4 years. This is gonna take forever. No, it goes by quick.
No.
So
it goes slow though, in my opinion. Like whenever you're younger,
I was in high school, I thought time would stand still. I'm like, oh, I'm a freshman. I got 3 more years. And then all of a sudden, I'm a senior. Like, well, there goes 4 years, and
literally, dude.
Yeah. So
I don't know if it ever went slow for me. Maybe at the very end.
I know my senior year was my slowest year. I never thought it was going to end. But the freshman, sophomore, and junior year went by too fast. And I regretted it in high school because senior year came up and I tried to do everything that I didn't do my freshman through junior year in my senior year. I went to football games. I went to soccer games. I went to every sporting event.
I didn't give a damn till the end in high school.
And it just doesn't bring it in. But with high school and college relationships, what people don't realize is people still coming out of high school are in that same mentality where you date for a little bit or you talk for a short amount of time and then you're dating like maybe 2 weeks or something like that. And yeah, that could work with some people, but in reality,
it's kind of like a gamble.
It is. It's a gamble with everybody. Whereas in high school, that was a precedent. That was a precedent set. You talk to them for like 2 weeks, you go on one date, and then you just start dating. You announce it to the school that like, oh, so-and-so and so-and-so are dating.
We are now an official relationship.
Yeah, that's how
official.
High school is like, it's worse than college. Rumors go like spread like wildfire, like faster than you wouldn't believe.
You're saying
in
college?
With the hormones comes drama too, man. Like emotions run high in general, so
I think in college, like it depends on like how big of a school you go to though, but it's the same shit.
There's
People are
drama
petty
in
and
college, but it's like everybody's for the most part pretty chill about things. Like
they don't escalate as quickly and it doesn't go out of hand as much.
Even if there's drama between people, they can like usually have the maturity to hang around each other.
Whereas a dispute, if there's a love triangle in high school, like it gets crazy real quick. The two girls start trying to either fight over the dude, or the one girl causes a scene in front of the dude and his other chick, and it just escalates out of that. In college, if there's a
Or the
love
two
triangle,
dudes definitely fight over the one girl.
oh yes,
Yeah.
sir. Whereas in college, it's completely different. Yeah, there might be a love triangle with two guys going over for a girl, but it doesn't usually end in a fight. It just ends in an argument, maybe every once in a while. Like 1 out of 10 times, it ends in a fight or an argument. The other 9 out of 10 times, one dude just realizes that the girl's just not worth it, and he walks away.
I've
So,
seen
what
some
was the
fist fights in college.
craziest?
I think I might have seen the same amount of fist fights in college as high school.
What was the
I haven't.
craziest fight that you guys have seen in high school or college?
I'm gonna let someone else go before me. I got
I
one.
think all three of us may have the same one. Me, Brandyn, and Oliver.
Yeah.
It had to be Royal Rumble.
Yeah, that
Oh,
was,
let's go!
yeah, that was pretty. I mean, maybe
don't
Brandon,
know
maybe
this.
besides the one we went to, we were coming back from the apartment, and this person was like, "Yo, I work at Altos."
Oh
Do
shit!
you remember that when we
That
were
was
all
wild.
massive fight broke out because someone like threw a beer at some dude's girl, and then everyone was like, "Hold up, you don't do that!" And like this mad fight started to break out, and this person is a bouncer, quote unquote, was like, "Dude, don't touch me. I work at Altos."
Dude,
It like
that's so funny.
he's
That's
always
so
over
funny.
a girl. I feel like.
Yeah.
Well, so like
think-
they're at that party, there were just people that were being just generally disrespectful, like because it was the
talking about
party
Royal
that we
Rumble
threw. No. Like, it was the party that we threw. It was an open party, and people were going around spilling beer everywhere, which is like normal. But like they were grabbing bananas and like throwing them everywhere after they crushed them up. And like this guy came up into my face at one point during that party and was like, "Hey, what's good, bro? What's good? What's good?" I was like, "Nothing," and I walked away because when I'm drunk, I just don't give a shit. I was like, "Okay." Normally, I'd be scared shitless, but so then we go outside, and like that kid that got in my face earlier threw the beer and it almost hit this girl. So then a bunch of people who weren't even involved with this girl or the boyfriend, like tried to fight. Because they were like, "Oh, you hit a girl? You almost hit a girl?" And at one point, this one kid gets in a fucking car and tries to run these kids over. It was insane. And eventually, everybody
the
cleared
hell?
it out because the cops apparently were going to show up. But I don't think they ever
That might
did.
What
be
is
the Royal
this?
Rumble, actually.
I
What
don't
is
know,
this
man.
Royal Rumble. Someone
Try
tell
to
me the Royal
describe.
Rumble story.
So this was our freshman year.
Our little
At
selves.
college.
Yes.
Yeah, and we end up one crazy night after just like it was one of those nights where you like
just
go to
do
so
it.
many different places, but it's like everything is falling through. Like you think you're gonna go hang at this one place, but then it's like nobody's showing up. So you go to this other place, then it's like, oh, nobody's showing up at this either. You have a little drinky here, a little drinky there. We'd been all over the place this night. We were just walking around town, and we hear about this party at this random house across the street from Sheets.
Which is
So
like
we like
a
decide
highly...
to walk over to it because that's within walking distance. Like we walk to Sheets
Yeah.
all the time, so we can walk to a house right by Sheets. We're like, this is perfect. And we were with our insane friend, like, what was he, a junior or senior friend
Yeah.
I was a junior
that
in
night
this.
who was just always getting us into trouble. So definitely he was in for it. And so we go to this house by Sheets, and there's this huge party happening with this frat we had never even heard of until this very point. At least I hadn't heard of it until that night.
Me neither.
Yeah.
And
same.
they were just having this insane house party. There was like all these strobe lights and everything inside. People were just
wasted.
publicly all over each other. And apparently that led to some trouble because we decided at that point, we were in the house for a few minutes, like enjoying it, but we felt like it was way too crowded in there, which it was. Way too crowded.
And we were young, so we've never like gone to crazy house parties at that point. Like, this is not something
was
we
one of
were
our.
well
We had
versed in.
encountered a couple big parties before that. I think, big parties for like Shepherdstown, but this might have been the biggest one we had encountered so far. There were so many people crammed into this little house. But anyway, we went out into the driveway because it was so like hot and bothered in there. So we're out in the driveway just chilling, hanging out with this other guy who we would get to know a lot better later. Huge, muscular dude, like biggest guy you've ever seen. We were just like chilling with him in the
my
driveway,
God.
bantering it up. Yeah.
Do I know this guy?
Oh yeah.
It's
you know
this tall. He's literally 280 pounds, built like
of twisted steel and sex appeal.
You were gonna say
I know who you're
That's all
talking
it was.
about.
he's this Australian
I know.
guy that is like literally the strongest person I've ever met in my goddamn life.
But also
But
like
he's a
the
giant
chillest
teddy
dude.
bear.
But also
Nicest
the
guy you
chillest
ever
dude.
meet.
Yeah. So we were in the driveway with him. This is the first night we met him. We're having a great time. All of a sudden, on the deck, this big deck on the back of the house, everybody starts like jumping on each other. Like this huge fight breaks out. Two guys start punching each other. So people are, you know how it gets with a fight. People are trying to pull them off. So then somebody else yeah, somebody else takes a cheap shot at somebody else. All of a sudden, the entire crowd is fighting. That's why we call it the Royal Rumble. Just everybody.
my
This deck is
God.
just like a mass of fighting people. So big muscular dude that we're out in the driveway with is like, oh fuck, I gotta go deal with this. How the fuck is an Australian person talk?
Oh shit,
fuck, I
cat.
gotta go deal with this, boys. So he goes up onto the deck.
I love
like-
how he's like Eastern European at that point.
The one guy is like on top of the other kid, who's the guy on top. We would learn later also is in the same frat as muscle guy. So muscle guy pulls his like frat brother off of the other guy, and the other guy starts to get up to try to fight more, and muscle guy just points at him and is like, "Stay the fuck on the ground."
What?
Like as soon as he shows up on the deck, the massive fighting stops. Everybody like backs down
Whoa,
because
whoa,
like,
whoa.
he's a commanding.
If I
fucking
know
presence.
anything
gigantic.
if I know anything about this man, I've been a bouncer at Altos, and he has shown up quite a few times. And there's always been a fight or two while working.
Always
And
a fight or two.
there was one in particular. I have two. I have one in particular that didn't escalate quickly, but Brandyn and Oliver were somewhat involved.
We didn't say shit to this guy.
I didn't say shit to
So-
this guy.
We did not say a word.
Okay. So I'm bouncing at this bar locally, and out of nowhere, I just hear commotion going on inside, and then I see my friends Brandyn and Oliver walk out, and I'm like, "You guys leaving?" And they're like, "Yeah, we're heading out." Like Oliver's like, "Yeah, I think we're gonna head home. Like, we're just tired and all. We've had enough fun tonight." I'm like, "All right, boys, see you later." I dab them
Sounds
up. They
sound.
start walking to their car. I'm just thinking everything's fine. Everything's blown over. Nope. This tall white trash dude comes stumbling out, and he just starts yelling. And I think he's yelling at me. And then I blow it off for a little bit. I don't pay attention to him. I don't acknowledge him. And he walks right past me, and he starts heading like right towards Brandyn and Oliver. And I'm like, whoa, okay. I was like, okay, I have to step in now because this man's going after my friends. And I'm
For
like, come on,
sure.
man. I was like, come on, man. You got to get back inside. Like, they didn't do anything. Like, they're not doing anything. Mind you, during this point, Brandyn and Oliver are still walking to their car, and
Yeah, they're
the
just trying to
dudes,
leave.
Brandyn and Oliver are literally just trying to leave, and the guy's like, "You want to talk shit? Say it in my face, motherfucker! All this shit. You want to talk shit? I see you, scrawny boy!" And he's pointing at Brandyn. He's like, "I see you. I'll snap you in half like a twig, boy." I'm like, I'm just standing there. I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Jeez.
Like,
So okay.
Brandyn like turns around and he's like, "Oh, so you got something to say now?"
Can
And
you back
Brandon's
up a
like,
little bit for your
"I
mic?
didn't say a damn thing." And then they just get in the car and drive off. And the dude, like, he's standing there, and I think he's not gonna do anything. And then he just bolts for their fucking car because he sees them trying to get out of the parking lot, and they're stopped. And so he takes that as an opportunity. He thinks that they're trying to come back. So he just bolts for their fucking car. So I jump over the railing and I take a bolt after this dude, and I'm screaming into the mic at the bouncers thing, and I'm screaming back. I'm like, "Guys, they're going after Brandyn and Oliver. Guys!" And then like one of our brothers, his name begins with a K. Brandyn and Oliver know him.
Yes.
Okay. I needed an acknowledgement because Brandon showed a thing of confusion. Like, he comes bolting out and his hair is just flapping in the fucking wind, looking like a god. And he's like, "What's going on? What's going on?" And I'm like, "This dude was taking after Brandyn, and I stopped him, and he's just like talking shit about them." It blows over, and then we go back to standing on the porch,
What happened to the
And
guy?
he, like, I took him back inside, and like I was like, you can't be doing this, dude. Like, just go back inside and drink. There's nothing going on. Like, they didn't say anything to you. And he was like very hospital with me. Like, he was
Hostile.
showing a lot of hospitality towards me. He's like, I get it, man. You're just trying to do your job and all that. I'm like, in the back of my head, I'm like, you ran after two of my closest friends. I
This
am not
dude
trying
is
to be
like-
nice to you.
Bipolar.
Literally. And so the guy, like, he goes back inside, all of that, everything's fine. And then more commotion happens. And I hear another one of our friends get on the intercom over the mic. And he's like, we need everybody inside, or we need at least a couple people inside. There's a fight breaking out. Fight, fight, fight. And so I'm the last one to get to the door. And I just swing open the door. And I see the man that we were just talking about.
Oh my
white
god.
dude. He's standing there, and then there's a African American boy on the other side of him, and standing in the middle of him is our big Australian friend screaming at the top of his lungs into this white boy's face.
Oh.
And he was like, you
Got
don't
him.
fucking talk, you sound, get out of here, go. And I could see the veins in his head popping, like all that. I'm just sitting there, I'm like, I've never seen this man like this.
How are you even gonna
Someone's
like
going
fuck
to
around and try to start a fight with this man
That.
bouncing?
Literally like 300-pound man of all muscle.
Like, and just hair. He's a grizzly bear.
What do you expect is going to happen in that situation?
And
Dude.
so, like, the big Austin, like, the dude did something that I would never have suggested and never would suggest to anyone that comes face to face with this man in an argument. The man puffs out his chest and, like, shoves with this boy. And I'm like, this man just signed his death sentence right here.
Oh no.
And so the big Australian like just like shoves him down, shoves him to the ground, and just walks him to the door. And he's like, you're out of here, you're done, all that. And then he just walks back in, picks up his beer that was on the table, and just continues with his thing. He wasn't even working that night.
No.
He was just there
Oh
in
damn.
the shirt, just having a good time. He was just our backup if we didn't have anybody else.
If
Dog,
you needed to bring in
he's-
the big guns, literally.
He's a monster.
That was the first story.
That guy.
The second one
Well, hold
takes
on.
place
Let me
in
let me
high
let me give you my POV real quick from this whole situation.
Please
And,
do.
and Oliver, if you have any chances to butt in, because I don't know if you had any run-ins with this guy. We were just trying to get out and find our friends. I think I was trying to find you, Oliver. We were trying to find somebody.
Why did he think you were talking shit? Is my question.
So I went to head out towards that direction, and I go back, and I think I accidentally bump into him on my way back. Because like,
Yep.
if you're
There it is.
going through these, because it's literally when you're in this place,
Yeah.
it's literally a trailer. And there's like, would you say like 150 to 200 people in this tiny ass trailer?
Yep.
I mean, easily.
So
Plus about 50 outside. Yep.
if you're trying to traverse through this plane of just people, you're going to just knock into people. It's just how it is. If it, sorry, I got to get through, push through. Okay, guys, this is cool. So on my way back, I accidentally knock into him, and he says something to me, and he's like, you could say, excuse me, or some shit like that. And I keep moving. I'm drunk as shit. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I didn't even know that he was talking to me, but my brain acknowledged what he said. On my way back out, I go past him again. And like, of course I have to touch him. He's like, yo, what the fuck? You want to go? Do you want to go? And I was just like, yeah, I'm heading out right now. So we walk out the door, and as we're in the parking lot, I didn't even know that this guy was following us. And I look back, and he's yelling at Oliver and I.
I know for a fact because when we got in the car, I started taunting him.
Is that what you were doing?
Yeah, I started taunting him.
What'd
No,
you do?
so like, okay, back up a second. So when we were in the bar, I think I was closing my tab, and after I think it was like the first time Brandon accidentally bumped into him, Brandon was walking outside. This guy was about to follow Brandon like straight away, and I like cut in front of him real quick and like started walking really slowly on purpose. So then, like, as we got outside, the guy's like on the balcony and sees us keep walking, and obviously he's saying shit to myself and Brandon. So then, We get to the car and he's like leaning over the balcony. I'm just like, bro, like we're just chilling. And I was just like waving at him, like peace out. Like I was just like, get out of here.
Wow, you definitely made him run it.
I don't know if he saw it. I mean, it was pitch black out. I don't know if he saw it.
He saw it.
may-
He
I
saw
don't
it.
know.
Because you
I mean,
guys
we
were
were-
parked right there in front
I
of
mean,
the
we were leaving anyway.
building.
Like he couldn't.
Exactly.
If he was he gonna do punch our car? Ooh.
I think that's what he was planning on doing.
It's just like,
I don't really know, like,
what's the point, man? Like, why
yeah,
you gotta be a dickhead?
what honestly was his plan when he ran up to your car?
I don't know.
Break
I
your
stopped him.
hand, punching out
With
a
a
window.
bouncer
Like,
right behind him.
It's just one
But
of
that
those
was
people
the
that are
first
drunk and being a
story.
dickhead. Like, I don't understand why you try to fight people. Don't just.
That was the
Mind your
first one.
business.
The second story I have is from high school. So it happened during lunch, or the time period where people are supposed to be going back to class from lunch. And so I finished my lunch. I always spent my lunch in the wrestling rooms. I would always get like my tray, go down, meet with the wrestlers, and we'd just sit there and talk because it was during wrestling season. And this kid, like, we're walking back, the bell rings, we're walking back to class, and out of nowhere, like, there's just this huge crowd that just starts to like gather in like the big meeting place that has at my high school. Because you walk in through the double doors and there's this big opening, and then on the backside there's the lunchroom. And so like that big gathering place is where everybody always met, like in the mornings and during lunch, to just stand and talk with their friends, make out with their girlfriends, whatever.
True.
And so like this huge crowd just started gathering there. And so like obviously like I'm in high school, so my curiosity gets piqued. I'm like wondering like what the fuck's going on. So I break through the crowd, I get to the front, and I see this like these two boys like circling each other. Like I'm like, oh crap, someone's getting ready to throw down with this other kid. And
I
I
like how you
knew
always call them boys. These boys are about to go at it.
these boys about to go at it. So I knew one of the guys. I went to middle school with him, and he tried out for the wrestling team, all that. So like I knew him, and he'd always like joked or talked about like saying like, oh, he practiced MMA and all that shit.
Yeah.
And like in the back
There's
of my
always
head,
that one guy.
oh yeah.
Oh, I'm a triple black belt, bro.
So I'm just standing there, I'm just waiting for someone to throw the first punch, all that. Well, then they finally go at it, and they start going at each other. And the one boy I knew is getting the shit beat out of him.
Yikes.
Like,
You always hate to
this
see your
kid-
friend get his ass kicked.
He wasn't my friend. I just knew him.
Oh.
fair enough.
But like I see like the other kid is like bending him over, like holding him down, hitting him,
Jeez.
throwing uppercuts to the body, all that. And he pulled the kid's shirt over top of his head, so the other kid couldn't fight back because he couldn't see.
Nice.
And so like the best part about the fight is the ending. So everyone's just watching this happen. Like no one's making like any commotion about it. We're all just being like, oh shit, oh fuck, all that. And then out of nowhere, I just see this big figure like walk behind the crowd, and like I notice the hair. And I'm like, please don't be who I think it's gonna be. And sure enough, it is. It's my wrestling coach. This guy is like big. He's like fat though, but he's like still got like the muscle.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like,
I know
on him?
exactly what you mean.
And so like he just like breaks through the crowd. He's like a big loud guy. He's funny, but like he's like, hey, 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 hey. Walks up to the two guys. They don't even notice him. Picks them both up by their shirts and just lifts them. And then the best thing that happened was like he was like, I'm gonna tell y'all boys to stop. And they keep trying to fight while he's in the like he's holding them in the air.
Literally
And so
like a
then
cartoon.
Then he literally just goes plunk and then just walks into the freaking vice principal's office.
He knocked their heads together?
Knock their heads together.
My God.
Loved it. Loved that man ever since. That guy is hilarious.
Dude, there's always that one like big badass teacher that breaks up all the fights, I swear.
It was always him. You practicing being Spider-Man over there, Oliver?
No.
I practice
I'm
being
trying to
Spider-Man
stretch
every
my-
night.
Dude, you got that web.
Go
coming out
spider
of
web.
my- Yeah.
Got that.
Up
web.
and away. I was going through my emails. I got an email from General David. Hello, I'm Lieutenant General David. I am United States General from United
real?
States of America. Am supportive and caring. I have something very important to tell you.
Is this real?
It's a real email that I
This is
got.
like some scam shit, but yeah.
What the fuck?
I've got another email for you guys.
What is even that?
All right, just listen.
I am underwater. I need help.
I am General from United States. Open boob. Have you ever gotten sat next to / picked for a project, etc. with your ex? If so, I'm sure you can relate. So my ex and I had a pretty nasty breakup, the kind where I don't see us even being friends ever again. So with the new year, we got new seats in history, and guess who I sit next to? Today, our first day back because of the snow. We really didn't look at each other at all. But I can't see that going on forever because our teacher is the kind that changes seats every 2 months. I already talked to the teacher about it, and she said it was just one of those things in life, and she can't change our seats, even though we have both requested it. Any help? If you decide to post this, anonymous, please.
Anonymous.
I've
after the
never-
fact.
I've never had that, but I've had to work with my ex.
Oh, that might be even worse, honestly.
I had to
Oh,
work with my
shit.
ex, and we always worked either the same shift or the shifts that always ended with each other. So the way
Don't
the
tell me
shift
you were
work
her
was
boss
always
or she was your boss.
no,
Good.
but I had been there
Boss
longer
baby?
than her. But it was either like you worked 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. or 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. or 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. So there was times when I had worked overnights from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. when we
And
were
then that overtime.
dating, and like she would come in at 6 a.m. It was great, like give her a kiss, good morning, all that stuff in the back room. It was amazing. But then when we broke up, it sucked because she would always work 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. and I would come in from 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. So I would always have to walk by her or walk into the store, be in her vicinity for like half an hour before she clocked out. And it was so awkward. I hated it.
Thank God you weren't on the same shift. Damn.
We had times where we both worked the same shift and she was up at the registers and I was in like back in the kitchen of the place that we worked. And that
Dude,
was
I'd hate
awkward.
That shit. I'd hate that shit. But for this
I
kid's purposes,
Fucking hated it. I hated it. I hated it so much because I could feel her staring at me, or if I needed to like talk to her about like something going on with the store or something like that, like, hey, this customer said that they wanted this added on to their like bill or receipt or something like that, like I would have to go tell her because she's running register so that way she could bring it up. And I would like walk up and I would be so tense to like talk to her about something because you could feel that tension that like she didn't want me there, I didn't want her there, we didn't want each other there, we didn't want to be there with each other in the same time frame. And so like I would walk up and be like, hey, so and so this person wanted to add this onto their thing and all that, and she would just give like the quick responses like, okay, yeah, sure, okay.
dude, if you're gonna be that bitter, just quit.
Exactly.
Some people
Well,
like to be
thanks to
bitter,
her,
though.
thankfully to her, I got fired, so she doesn't have to deal with me now. But I did find out some interesting facts about her, but I'm not gonna put that stuff up on the internet.
Don't put her shit on blast.
No.
Yeah,
I'm
what
not
about
gonna do
for
that.
this kid though?
This kid, I honestly, you can't. I mean, like, you can't quit a
can't-
class. You can't fire her from a class. You can't get her fired from a class. You already
You're
tried to get your
fired.
seats moved and you couldn't. So I say, just
Wrong.
fucking do you, man. Just do
Just-
you and ignore her. Like, there's no
Just-
reason for you to have to be nice to each other or nasty to each other. Just like you say, you don't even have to look at her, man. It's like,
Be
is it
there to
that
get the
big of a
grade.
deal?
Just dig it out.
Focus on the grade. Focus on the grade. That's
Focus
all.
Yeah,
on
that's
the
true.
grade.
Like, obviously, yes, you're not gonna like this person, but like, you don't have to like your classmates. You have to get along with them. You don't have to like
Yeah,
them.
I'm sure you've been in class with someone you don't like before, and it's not like
Yeah.
you even don't
Exactly.
like each other. It was just a nasty breakup, man. That shit happens.
It happens
It's
to
You gotta
everybody.
be
going
mature
to
about it and be able
suck.
to at least be around each other. Like you're in a class, you've got work to do, you've got shit to do. You're not. It's not just social time where she's gonna come up and try to talk to you. So just fucking suck it up.
Exactly.
I hate to be harsh, but
Tell her that her
No,
breath
you're fucking
stinks.
right.
And I feel like
Tell
you
her
should
her
just troll
breath
her.
stinks.
Just troll her the whole time. Before she sits down, like remove her chair from under her. Like create a problem in class. And then, or even better, just sit there and try to talk to her the whole time. And if the teacher notices it, she might try to move you.
just get expelled, bro.
Just fucking punch your ex-girlfriend
Punch
right
her.
in the face.
Punch her.
Punch the teacher.
Call her a
No,
cunt.
don't. We don't endorse that. We don't endorse that.
No, dude, so
Oh,
it's so
bitch.
weird to even like think about high school because I kind of had this situation happen to me. I was in a math class with my ex-girlfriend, and
Oh.
I remember she would get bitter at me because I was smarter than her at math, which was pretty wild. But like,
It's called jealousy, my friend.
she was jealous. I was like trying to help her out with
Big
math,
brain.
and she was
That's
like,
Really,
"You just act
sad
like you're
person.
so smart, aren't you?" It's like,
I'm not acting.
no, I know how to do this, and you don't. No, I didn't say that. I tried to be understanding, but and then like we were in the same class, and I just didn't even look in her direction. That's how
What you
that
gotta
ended.
do, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Ignore that
gotta-
bitch.
Some people are just so bitter in life. You gotta stay away from them.
That's the hormones too in high school, man. You just like can't ignore somebody. It's like you have to have a reaction, you know?
That's what it is with people in high school.
Yeah.
There's
Imagine
al-
being a high schooler right now though and having to go to online school.
That'd be pretty dope, dude.
I've seen some funny shit with the online schools. Like people are in this big chat with everyone in the class.
Somebody
and they
takes a
can't
massive
tell,
bong
like,
rip.
who's saying what.
I saw
And
one where
somebody's
like this
"Shut
girl.
up, bitch."
I saw one where this girl was in like a Zoom meeting and she was like on her phone and you could see that she was like walking to like somewhere in her house, and then it just ends with her setting the phone down and like pulling down her pants and sitting on the
Oh
toilet.
my god.
Oh, I've seen
She
that.
started
Yeah.
Did you see
peeing.
the one where they kicked the teacher out of the call? It was like the whole
No.
class in a call, they kicked the teacher out.
What? That's
No.
wild. What? The teacher should be like
He's
the
like, "We're
admin. You
not
can't
here to
kick
mess
him.
around. We are here to learn math." And then all of a sudden, his picture disappears on like the big teacher screen. Everyone else has tiny screens, and this random kid like pops up on the screen on the teacher screen. He's like,
That's actually funny as shit. Yeah, I saw one
Oh
where a
my
kid took a
God.
massive bong rip in the middle of the class, and he just like,
and
and the teacher was like, they're like, "Can you not? Can you not? Can you
the teachers are
not?"
so powerless to it. They're like, we're gonna find out who did that, and you'll be in trouble.
You saw the one where the kid screamed the N-word, and he was like, "If that happens again, we're ending
I've
class."
seen a couple where people did that. Oh, it's so bad.
What?
Yeah, dude, it's fucking wild. Dude, imagine being a 15-year-old and having
Just
these
imagine,
abilities.
like, we think our life is crazy right now because, oh my god, we have to stay in our houses. Like, I never leave my fucking house anyway. But like, imagine being in high school. Imagine being in like elementary, middle school. Like, what the hell are they doing? It's not even, if you're in like preschool, it's almost not even worth it to try to do online school. Like, what are you learning? Shapes and colors?
So I actually
Fucking
found out
figure
what
it out,
the
man.
local schools are actually just advancing them to the next grade as long as they're like in elementary school.
Yeah.
Some schools I know. My mother is an elementary school teacher right now at a local school, and what they're doing is they are doing online courses, but they're doing it to a certain extent where the teachers put up something online for the kids to do every day. So it's like one day, like you get one thing to do every day, but it's different each day, or you get a group of
That's not
things to
bad.
do each day.
That's not bad.
And like you have to report it in, and the parents of these kids have to report it in. So
Dude, I
right
hate that
now,
shit so
it's-
much still if I was a student. That's like homework every day because you're always at home.
it
True.
it sounds
That's what
absolutely
what
horrible.
homeschooling is, my good sir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Just
I think
FYI.
I think
FYI to
it's
the
about that
peanut
time.
gallery. That's what homeschooling is, my dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who do you consider the peanut gallery in this
You
call?
three, because you haven't been homeschooled.
Oh, okay. We're like so different from you.
Teacher's so hot.
Sorry.
I'm so
I knew a
different.
lot of
Sorry, we're not
homeschool
as
kids.
privileged. Is
That
that
doesn't.
privilege?
I don't know if
hear,
that makes
Oliver?
you a privilege.
Hey man, I have a homeschool friend.
All right, you're in. You're in the club. You're in the gang.
Hey,
What's the job?
Honorary.
I was
I
knew a lot of
homeschooled
kids that
my
went to
kindergarten
church.
Son
year.
of a bitch, I'm in.
I knew a
Dog.
lot of kids I knew a lot of kids I went to church with that were homeschooled, like families of like 7 or
Yeah,
8.
dude. Like all these kids in the plays that I did, these like extracurricular plays were all homeschooled. And they went to
Because
this
they don't have
it's
exposure to
crazy.
anything else.
It's crazy. I don't know if you haven't like interacted with a lot of homeschool people. At least the ones
have.
that I met, they went to this thing called co-op,
Yep. Yeah.
which is basically like school, but it's like 1 day a week.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It's like they all go and it's like, and their parents like send them there because they're like, oh, they have to be social. I'm like, then send them to fucking real school.
And
It's
like
Exactly.
and
It's
like
just
co-op
school
every.
1 day a week.
So it's a
There's
bunch
a
of
kid. Oh, go ahead.
So there's a bunch of homeschoolers, and all the parents teach a different subject. So like one parent will teach math, one will teach like reading and writing, one will teach science, one will teach English. They all just like take turns.
There's a kid in my psychology class this semester, and he is young as fuck, and he does co-op. He's
Dude.
he's
Those
like
are always
16
crazy.
but taking college classes.
So
and
like 14, 15, 16-year-old prodigies, you see, it's like I'm in my fucking like major classes in my like junior, senior year. I
He's
see
not
these
a
kids, I'm like,
prodigy,
oh my
though.
god.
like I would
What was
think
I
that like he's a prodigy. He's 16, but he's taking a psychology 101 class at our college.
Yeah, I guess
Dog,
that's like
I
pretty
bet-
normal. I think everybody has the option to do stuff like that.
I bet
It's
you
usually
that
at, like,
shit's
a community
easier than
college.
most of their high school classes. Like, I could go to Shepherd as like a 14-year-old and probably pass that shit.
High school was so fucking easy. So much easier than college, in my
Literally,
opinion.
all you had to do was just do your homework.
Just go to class, my dudes.
I didn't do my
Go
homework.
to class and do
Just
your
kidding,
homework.
I
it's not
never
easier.
studied or anything in high school. Like I never had to, but I had to study so fucking much in college. At least so
Same.
fucking much for my standards.
I had to study a lot of like depending on what class was. I always have to study vocabulary for different things. I always had to like make sure I knew what it was.
I always hated
It depends on the
vocab.
teacher, man. I every single class that I've taken, I usually don't have to study, but every once in a while, I get a professor where it's like every little thing that they say is going to be on the exam. I remember
it
I
could
took.
appear there. It's not that it's going to be on there. It's that anything they say could appear there is what's crazy. It's like it could be literally any of this, but I only actually have to know a fourth
It
of
could be
it, but I don't actually
bullshit
know which
about their
fourth.
life. Like it's that specific. It's
That's the same.
Stupid.
Brandon knows who my psychology teacher is, and that's how he is.
Who's your
That's a
psychology teacher?
homie.
You can't
I'll put it in
dominate
the
psychology teacher right now.
Is
Yeah.
it who I think it is? Does his
It-
name start
no,
with an M?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Dude, that man is the
Love
homie.
that guy.
That man
Love
is
that
fire,
guy.
bro.
Love
That
that.
There
man
it
is
is. It's in the chat.
fire.
He's so awesome. He
Dude,
tells
the
the best
first-
stories, man. I actually
first two
love the
classes
things
for his
about him because he
online
tells the best
class.
stories.
This man's doing online lectures.
That's
It is
fire.
gonna be fucking great.
If
You gotta
any
take a
professor
video.
was gonna do
You
an
gotta take a
online
video.
lecture, it would be either him or Brandon knows who else.
Oh, I
Our
know
very
you're talking about.
animated
Dorito?
cussing professors. Like, oh yeah, Dorito.
This person we're talking about, but literally my first two class periods, all he did was tell us about his life.
Yep, that's what he did with
All
us
he
too.
did. I was like, let's go.
Yeah,
This
no,
man's
his,
lit.
his life story in like the first 3 classes. It's awesome.
It's
Yeah.
fucking hilarious. He looks at me like I'm a prod. Like he like we talked about like abnormal behavior or stuff like that, and like I know what abnormal behavior is gonna bring about. It's gonna bring about talk about like murderers and stuff like that, like Ted Bundy and Jeffrey Dahmer and people like that. And so like I was kind of hyped for that class because like it's a little hobby of mine. I watch Criminal Minds. I've watched
I
the Ted
murder
Bundy
people
tapes,
on Saturdays.
all that. So yeah, if you guys didn't know, I'm a murderer. But my weapon of choice is hockey sticks.
Sounds like
so-
something a murderer would say.
Damn.
Try to play it off all smooth.
But like this man looks at me like I am a young prodigy for like the psychology field, because like we had a class period where like he would literally ask questions and I was giving answers to every single one. And after class, he like held me up. He's like, "Will, do you got him?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I got a little bit." And he's like, what's your major? And I'm like, it's history. And he's like, what's your minor? And I was like, oh, it's this. And he's like, and you didn't think about psychology? I'm like, I didn't think about it until this semester, because I literally didn't think about it until I had his class, that like how much I actually did enjoy psychology as something.
He didn't do that.
That tells you about teachers. Like, if you're a good teacher, you can like make like kids
They'll
invested.
make you love any subject. They'll make you love the shittiest subject.
Exactly.
I always got
And he
that talk
does.
from like English teachers. English teachers were always like, you should be an English major. You write so well. I'm like, I fucking like writing though.
I would rather die.
But yeah, we're like way over our hour.
Yeah.
I was about
One
to say.
We went in.
Hey.
We went in.
We go hard in the paint. We've got a lot of pent up. It's not like energy, because that's not what this was. It's just more pent up. Like, I need to interact with
Pent
other
up
people.
socialism. Yeah.
Yeah.
Socialism.
I was about to say.
Socialisticness.
I just really want to vote for
Socialization.
Bernie Sanders right now.
Sociality.
Dude, I'm
Sociality.
gonna vote that some of the primaries get postponed.
I vote fuck Joe Biden. But he
Biden.
literally is a babbling idiot. Also,
Dude, I
fuck
had
the governor of
Kids
West
are
Virginia.
just as smart as white kids.
Dude, I had somebody on one of my social media said Jim Justice and Joe Biden are the same people.
Yes. I feel like Jim Justice, he's a governor from West Virginia. If you need to know what this guy's about, just
He
watch
looks
any
like
of
a
his
cartoon
coronavirus
character.
shit. This guy literally is trying so hard to be a Trump impersonator, but he's got zero personality.
scary.
So it's not even like, he just sounds like a babbling idiot.
It's
Why would
scary.
you? Of anyone to impersonate, why Trump?
Well, to be honest, he's a cult of personality in the Republican Party. It's just
True.
if you
It's like
don't,
people want to capitalize and get his level of success.
it's just if you're not a cult of personality, don't pretend like you are. Just be you. But no, this guy's on there just saying the same thing over and over again, babbling like an idiot. If he's doing all of these conferences for the germ.
Okay. Before we end, I just got one of the most random Snapchats I have ever received in my life.
If it's not an ass pic, I don't want to hear about it.
It's not an ass pic, and it's not a
Is
nude.
it not an ass pic, but they're talking about an ass? I'm
What
all
is
ears.
it?
So this random person that
Male or
was
female?
in a female that was in a certain, fuck it, I'll say it. She was in a sorority at our school
Okay.
that I had a class with and that I was decent friends with. I was okay with.
Story continues.
Just randomly asked me, do you have any single friends that are over 6 foot?
What,
I'd be
you
like, shut the fuck up.
fucking bitch.
Billy,
Dude,
ho,
ask her if she's got any single friends that are under 200 pounds.
Joe.
Oh, whoa.
What a
That
superficial
actually would be the
bitch.
perfect response. That'd be the perfect.
Savage. That's pretty savage.
I fucking hate that shit, man. That run rampant on like Tinder.
Man, Brandon
please
just
be
proved that
over
Earth
6
go hard.
Why is 6 foot always the magic number too?
I guess because they want you to be
I hate,
tall. Wait,
I
way
hate when
taller
they say
than them.
over 6 foot because they're like, because I'm exactly 6 foot. So it's like, that fucking bitch.
Brandon, it doesn't matter. Your girlfriend's 4'8".
Actually, it was over 6 foot. It was. Do you
That
have
dumb
any
bitch.
single friends over 6 foot?
Yeah, this is not greater than, or this is not greater than or equal to. This is greater than, bro. You have to be 6'1" or more.
6'1.5".
6 foot. 6 foot and 1 inch.
Is this a tall girl? It actually goes into it.
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
Okay,
is she
that's fair.
taller than 6 foot?
She's close to it, I would say.
Does she
Probably
have blonde hair?
Probably about 5'10", 5'11". No. Brandon knows her.
Stop
from
trying to guess who it is.
Well, no.
He'll
This
tell
is
you after we
relevant.
get off.
This is relevant because if she's like 6 foot or above, that's understandable if she's looking for a taller guy. But if she's fucking 5'2" and looking for somebody over 6 foot, go fuck yourself.
My ex was taller than me. My ex was 5'10", 5'11",
Yeah, ain't nothing
and
wrong with
I
a girl being
was.
taller, man. Sometimes it
She just fucks you. That's all. You know.
Hey, I didn't argue with that at all. I
Bullshit.
questioned it at first. I was like,
not every girl that's taller than you is Amazonian.
exactly.
Travis knows.
She could just be a tower, a skinny tower.
Exactly, like a skyscraper that you just climb.
When you get to the top, I love you.
I don't mind. I don't mind climbing tree houses. I used to do that as a kid. So
You gotta climb the
Stop.
luscious waves.
stop.
You gotta.
The luscious waves.
Voluptuous.
Voluptuous,
I like luscious better. That was funny.
luscious waves.
Voluptuous waves. Okay.
All
Oliver,
right,
we know
I
what
feel
our
myself
mind is.
starting to get weak because I'm so hungry. I
Yeah.
haven't eaten
All right,
yet.
boys.
Alrighty, ladies and
All right.
gentlemen, thank you for listening to the episode 11 of Real Sensitive
Love
Guy
y'all. Love the
Hours.
listener.
Make sure you hit that subscribe button, leave a like, and a comment. More importantly, hit that subscribe button if you want to be a part of the show, or if you have any comments,
Smack that like
questions,
button.
all that shit. drspinshootimpress@gmail.com. Hit that subscribe button. And it's been Brandon. Hit that subscribe button, and I'm out, guys. Wait. It's been Brandon.
I'm Oliver.
I'm Travis.
And I'm Will.
And you listen to the Real Sensitive Guy Hours, episode 11. So hit that subscribe button.
Hey.
Love all.
Hey, we're gonna.
Hit that subscribe button.